What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, the King of Philly, here today with another video. This is my first, well, not another, this is my first ever video on YouTube. I hope you guys love my channel. I'll be posting a video every Thursday. Yeah, it's going to be super exciting. Today's video is ranking on the tier sheet we got here. It's not much. I'm still making the finishing touches. We are going to be ranking each pay-per-view event in 2023, starting with the Royal Rumble. This was honestly a great pay-per-view event. I loved the stories. The two Royal Rumble winners were phenomenal. I liked how Cody and Rhea were the Royal Rumble winners. The only downfall of this entire pay-per-view was the pitch black match with LA Knight and Bray Wyatt. I absolutely despise that match. It was only 5 minutes. I think it was only 5 minutes if I remember correctly. It was a very boring match. There was nothing exciting to it at all. But the main event segment with Sami Zayn turning on the Bloodline, that was by far my favorite match. Segment / match, because Roman faced Kevin. I really loved that. That was probably my favorite moment of 2023 when WWE-wise. So I'm going to go ahead and put this at the great tier because, that match was terrible. Next up, Elimination Chamber. Honestly, it wasn't as good as the Royal Rumble, but it was still a great pay-per-view event. The Sami and Roman match had to be one of the best matches of 2023. The rest of the pay-per-view was, it was okay. The women's chamber match was a little dull. There was no creativity to that at all. Asuka, sure, but I would have picked Liv Morgan to go on and win at WrestleMania because, honestly, let's be real, Liv Morgan doesn't get any props at all. But the chamber match and Roman and Sami, that was great, but Sami losing really broke my heart, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and put this also at the great tier, but just slightly below the Royal Rumble. Alright, so it's there. And then next we have WrestleMania. This is in the God mode tier. Every single match was a banger. Every single match delivered. My favorite match was, I think, it's tough. Because every match had to go past 30 minutes. Well, not every match, but most of the matches went over like 20, 30 minutes. And it was really exciting. But overall, my favorite match of the night, of the 2 nights, I would say, is Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Because, you had to have Kevin and Sami, the Usos, Solo, Paul Heyman, everyone getting involved in that match. The story, the Bloodline story was phenomenal. They did a great job telling that story leading up to that WrestleMania match. And they actually have in the WWE 2K24 showcase 40 years of WrestleMania coming up this March 8th. It releases. So that is automatically in the God mode tier. Next up, Backlash. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the okay tier. Because, honestly, there was really only one match that somewhat delivered. Actually, not somewhat. Really delivered. Was Bad Bunny. None of the cover. You got Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. That was a phenomenal match. Everyone from the LWO and Judgment Day interfered in that match. Bad Bunny, honestly, it kind of looked like he was really hurt since he's not like a full-time wrestler. His style is a little unorthodox, but overall, he's a phenomenal character. His music, I'd say, is not so much, but his wrestling, he's got some real potential. Damian Priest, always been a star, but overall, that match was really the only one that I personally enjoyed. The Bianca Belair and Io Sky match was good, but the story with damage control is just the same thing over and over again, like it is today. So for that reason, I'm putting the Backlash in the OK tier. Next up, we have Night of Champions. I mean, this. Don't get me wrong. This was a great pay-per-view. I mean, the opening match was phenomenal. Again, because AJ Styles was in the opening match. The only thing I would have changed, well, there was a couple things I would have changed, but the only thing I really would have changed was Bianca Belair losing to Asuka, because I really don't think that was typically necessary for Asuka to beat Bianca Belair in that kind of pay-per-view, because like let's be real, Night of Champions is not really a pay-per-view where a champion such as Bianca Belair will go on to lose. But I mean, I'm not arguing with it. Well, I kind of am, but not, it's not really on my bucket list to argue with. But overall, I'm going to put this, along with Backlash, I'm going to put it in the OK tier. Yeah, I'm going to put it below Backlash. Below it. Just slightly below it. Alright, and next up, we have Money in the Bank. This is in the great tier. The two Money in the Bank matches were insane. However, the Intercontinental title match with Matt Riddle and Gunther was, kind of boring and dull. I'd say the Drew McIntyre return was even more exciting than that actual match itself. I didn't really like that storyline all that much. I didn't really like that storyline all that much with the with Riddle and Gunther, doing their thing, because Riddle just got released. He's not like one of those wrestlers that will get too big of a spotlight. But like I said, the last match, Roman Reigns being pinned for the first time in 3 years. Jey Uso, that was insane. So that actually, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in front of. I'm gonna put it in front of Elimination Chamber, right here, because like at least most of these matches delivered. Next up, we have SummerSlam. I'm gonna put this in the mediocre, because I mean they had one match that was besides the pitch black match that I mentioned earlier with the Royal Rumble. It was very very boring. The most boring match I've ever seen, with the MMA rules match. Like how do you even explain that? That was like very boring. Like everyone in the crowd was yawning. But honestly, only the last two matches of that entire pay-per-view was really worth watching. The triple threat and the end match, like the bloodline match with Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. As you can see, it's on the cover. The thing where you get to be tribal chief. But like I said, as I mentioned, this is a very dull pay-per-view. Definitely not the best SummerSlam in history, but I just don't know. I mean, it's definitely mediocre. Next up, we have Payback. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the OK tier. The match card. Me personally, I think the match card was not too great. I think there's no way that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn should have lost to Balor and Priest. Definitely would have switched that. The Rollins and Nakamura match, however, was great. I liked that whole storyline with Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura, but there's really nothing else to really say about this pay-per-view, because it was I just don't know what to say about this one because it was just okay. Like I said, is in the tier. Next up, we have Fastlane. I'm gonna put this in the mediocre because like I'm gonna put it in the mediocre ahead of SummerSlam because the Fastlane again, like just like Payback, these two could not be more similar. Like the Payback pay-per-view, the match card was really nothing. It was nothing too exciting, but however, the Judgment Day losing to Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso was priceless. I loved that. Um, just like the Payback, like there's really nothing to say about that besides just that. There was really only one special thing about each pay-per-view. So this is mediocre and this is okay. Next up, Crown Jewel. Garbage. That was by far one of the worst pay-per-view match cards, everything that I have ever seen in my life. Because there was nothing exciting about the build up to that pay-per-view. The matches were very dull and boring. And like there's nothing else to say besides that Crown Jewel, definitely not the best Crown Jewel in the world. The main event was bad. I would have had the match go on a little longer. I hate the way Roman wins every time. You know what I'm saying? So for that reason, it's in the garbage. And finally, we have Survivor Series War Games. This may shock some people, but it's going in the God mode tier. Mainly because of CM Punk, and we had two legendary returns in one pay-per-view. Like, that's bananas. The War Games matches were both insane. Like the thing with Io Sky, like diving from the top of the cage. I loved the thing where I mean they teased Damian Priest's cash in again, like they always do. I'm not really shocked by that, but I mean that it was a great pay per view. I mean I would have added a little bit more matches, like Logan Paul. I would have added his match too with I don't know who they could have matched him up with because like he doesn't at the time he didn't really like show up all that much. So for that reason, for those couple reasons, I mean it's still a God mode, but those are the only flaws in this pay-per-view right here. Alright, that is gonna do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments what you think, what you would change. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all next time. Peace out.